All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I think now we've officially landed on a name. We keep talking about this. Welcome to episode 5 of STO Comics After Hours.
Dope stuff at great prices.
Yep, we'll get there. So how's everybody doing? We're back. As you can see, we are in a different location in the shop. We're going to hopefully the plan is to continuously move around and see what we can do. Maybe not even like what works best, but just something different, occasionally. And obviously there's only so many nooks and crannies in the shop that we're going to end up back making a circle at some point. I do not intend to keep doing this again this week. I did that a couple weeks ago, the full circle hand. We'll see what happens.
But how much merch can we sit in front of?
Yeah, well, a lot, apparently.
Yeah,
we have quite a bit.
We're going to find spots.
It's just a matter of whether or not we can make our fat ass fit in there and get a good camera angle. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, let's get the week kicked off. Let's see. You want to talk about new stuff? That's how we start, right? New stuff, new cool stuff that came in.
We got some stuff.
So, I mean, buying has continued to go like crazy. We have a lot of stuff we have yet to process and get out there. I mean, we're busting at the seams in all of our storage locations, our back room, everything. But we'll eventually keep turning out, nice, unique, or, sought after items. But really, lately, we're just buying bulk everything. Bulk toys, there might be something hot in there. Bulk comics, not hot in there, maybe a key or two, but just filler, and we're buying a ton of it.
And with the people that have contacted us between yesterday and today, the bulk that is about to come is strong. I mean,
it's bulk, but in we're talking good bulk,
very good bulk. Yeah. And we just made 7 toy posts yesterday, and we still have more to process, and then if this next buy works out,
well, we've got 3 that are all coming our way. It looks like we got a lot of statues, Mezco 112, 1/6 scale, sideshow hot toys, stuff like that. It seems like
figure arts,
Dragon Ball figure arts through the nose. A whole bunch of stuff that's coming, and we hope to be able to post about that on our socials and have this stuff and continue to keep providing a great selection and mix. But I mean, obviously the common theme for us is we need a bigger shop. We need more space or at the very least, not saying business is bad by any means, but more people coming through the door and taking stuff home with them so we can keep replacing it with other stuff.
Absolutely. Hey, well, people come in here all the time, and there's this common theme of, what's the most expensive thing you have in here? And the answer is the mortgage.
Yeah, definitely. The overhead.
But, what's the most valuable thing in this store? Real estate.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the space that we want to move things
James,
in and out of.
I'm going to stop you right there. The most valuable thing in the store is my people. You and Scott.
Oh, no, just...
Yeah. No. No, you guys are, though. But for real, it is. It's real estate because we always have more to put out. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if we had more space, I'd probably have a bigger team again to help us process, or at least some part-time or gig work type of stuff. And that's something, I don't know if we've talked about that. Like, our staff is smaller this year.
Right.
We might have touched on that earlier. I'm not sure. But, we're down 2 part-timers. And I am personally feeling a pinch. I know you feel a little bit. But I'm feeling it because it's causing me to work more on my days off, go out and look at collections.
Sure.
It makes it harder. In turn, I've always been open. Like, I'm going to come see you on my days off. I'm always open to that. But in turn, it makes it harder for me to take a different day off.
Sure.
Because right now we're at the point that I have 1 day a week that doesn't cost me overtime. And I'm not opposed to paying overtime. We pay that. You get that regularly. Scott gets that regularly. Mm-hmm. I do what's right, and hell, a day off is worth it sometimes.
Well, let's just offer a shout out right now. Jamie, Bruno, Seth, we miss y'all.
We do miss you guys. We do. hopefully at some point we get to where we can start bringing some bodies back in here and helping us.
Mm-hmm.
This month so far is starting out like a banger.
It's
boom. After riding, the first 5 months of the year steady at 10% down from what we did 2 years in a row. And again, long story, we won't rehash all that. But last year we cut a lot of work off of our plate,
right,
and then was able to still maintain that amount. And if we can figure that niche out again this year, it'd be real nice. And coming into June, oh my, and leading into June, like the end of May was really strong too. Right. So we just keep going, and it's been great so far. I mean, as of today, it is time of this recording. It's June 11th, and we've knocked this month out of the park. We haven't beat our year-to-date numbers, but we're starting out really, really
well. We still got the rest of the month to fill out.
Yeah, so hopefully we blow that out of the water and maybe make up some of our losses from the 5 months prior.
But for a 3-man team,
we're doing all right.
I think we're doing just fine.
Yeah.
And, we're comparing to a prior year where that wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. And, the biggest difference in having more bodies is the ability to process. More different merchandise.
Yeah. Which that's a catch-22 right now, going back to the space. Like we talk about that. Like if we could process more, where are we going to put it? Well, more than what we're already doing. Where is it going to go? We're even making more changes, but some of those changes are kind of going against like just bulk items coming out and being, able to have a place to land. We're eliminating where some tables were and comics would sit, magazines.
We're moving more towards more very select vintage merchandise having a place to land. To speak simply, it's the no-touch zone.
Yeah, so essentially we're eliminating more tables in a couple of rooms and putting more locked cases in there to give us exactly that. A more secure place, a place to put something out that's higher dollar, maybe get it out of the reach of children and careless collectors, and just keep it safe. And but we're shifting and we're constantly adjusting. I mean, just today, you and I spent hours going through the $2 books and starting to purge and get rid of, just like we did with the dollars. Now we're going to strip all these books and they're going straight in the $2 for $1 because they're dead stock. They've sat there too long. We have ways that we know how long most of our merchandise has been in the store.
Right.
So I can say, hey, this is stale. This might have been $2 3-4 years ago. Right now it's not anymore. Nobody's buying it, or there's still 20 copies of the 150 copies of this book, that I bought in 2020, because I bought cases and cases of stuff at a certain point. Again, buying out other dealers, stuff like that, shops. You end up with a lot of excess.
Well, and I look over there at the wall and I see Spider-Gwen, which was a beautiful buy at the time, and we have sold a number of those, but here they still are, even on the wall, in multiples.
What James is talking about is, I think it was 2018 or 19, I was at Indiana Comic-Con, and a gentleman was shopping a bunch of variants from San Diego Comic-Con 2016.
Shopping like, please take it.
And well, yeah, yes and no. But I bought, I think it was 75 Spider-Gwen 6 San Diego Comic-Con 2016 David Aja exclusives. I had 2 of them signed. I think we did 2 or 4 at Memphis Comic Expo in 2019. So it must have been 2018 when I bought it. In 2019, my friend went down to Memphis to the Comic Expo there and had the interior artist and inker sign them. we submitted, again, can't remember the exact number, but whatever, they all came back 9/8 with these signatures. We did very well. Over the years, I submitted a couple others at 9/8, did very well. We sold through a whole bunch of them. Finally, I think we're down to like 8, and
I mean, looking over there,
there might be a dozen up there.
Oh no, I'm thinking more like 6.
Oh, maybe 6. That doesn't mean I don't have more in the back somewhere in the stash. Because I have boxes you don't even know that.
Well, but I've been through almost every box back there at some point or another.
You don't touch my desk, so.
Son.
Do you? You go on my desk?
There's some days where you're not.
We gotta have a fight now. No. There's some boxes kind of stashed under there, and you might have seen them. I think there is a couple more somewhere.
I go on your desk. I don't go underneath your desk.
And that's where the good stuff is.
Yeah. I'm not digging in the cave.
That's where my whole short box, all the first appearances of the Rocketeers, just sitting and waiting.
Yeah, those aren't for sale.
I might abandon hope on that with the recent news. It sounds like that's all been scrapped again.
That's news I haven't heard.
Yeah, it's all been scrapped again. But they drastically wanted to alter the story, and then I think, whatever. So, as also, I guess a side note was, today is June 11th.
Anniversary.
2025. Tomorrow, June 12th, will mark our 4 years in this location, which puts us at a little over 6 years total as a store. And, I mean, I've been looking at some of the pictures and videos, and and just the changes from, like, the grand opening in this location, and how far we've come, where we're at now as compared to then. You look at there's videos and pictures, and we had nothing on the floors. We hadn't expanded at that point and had these other rooms and been able to, open up and get more merchandise out. But it's so different. And once again, as always, I want to say thank you to all the people that come in here and have made that possible to sell, to buy, to peruse, to spread the word, all that stuff. It all matters. And if nobody's noticed as well, in this new location, there's no table for me to smack my hand down on awkwardly. So I think we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
So let's move it right into, some of the stuff that we thought was cool that came in and we put out this week. So,
some of it hasn't even made it out yet, because one of these pieces I just pulled out of a box as a giant
today.
A surprise.
I think we got it a week or two ago, but we just discovered it.
We just
today.
found
it. Was a mishap. We didn't know. I mean, in all honesty, sometimes we get books that come in looking like garbage, and bags are stuck together.
Well, that's just it. In this case, the bags were adhered to one another. Yeah. And when you try and flip through a box, you cannot begin to see every item in that box.
And didn't this even come in where the lot of stuff that was coming from the house that had an active leak?
Oh.
And we were throwing books away that came in with it.
They were still wet.
Yeah, like soaking wet. And we bought them a week and a half ago.
Well, in active mold growth.
Yeah. So we just throw that stuff away, and we got a little diamond in the rough, expecting it to be junk.
Which helps make up for all the stuff that's going straight to the dumpster.
Right. So that comic, we always start off with our comics, I think, is this nice X-Men 11 Pressman board game variant. So for those that aren't aware, what was this, 92?
No, well, I mean, it's a Jim Lee X-Men cover, and it is the cover 92. That has been made into lots of posters, T-shirts.
But my point was, in 1992 and 93, Pressman Board Games did a collaboration with Marvel, and they did an X-Men game. And there were 4 releases over those 2 years. And in 3 of the 4 releases, you got a comic book in it.
Well, and then they also offered a mail away for those same books. There was one other book that was only mail away. But that one right there, it was available in the box.
Yep.
But it's still estimated to be less than 1,000 copies available.
Yep. And usually when you come across these, they're kind of rags.
Well, I mean,
they're a little beat.
They were not treated well. They were red.
Yeah.
Because, hell, it's a Jim Lee X-Men.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people overlook them because of the color changes in the covers and think that they're just second print trash or something like that.
Well, because Marvel did do
that
some second prints in the 90s where... Well, I mean, they did some metallic covers during that time range that were second prints, so everybody sees those.
You had your New Mutants 100. You had, there was X-Force books. There was all that stuff.
It's a redheaded bastard stepchild. Right. But in this case,
we got a winner.
It's exceedingly rare.
And it's very nice. Again, just like the book we spoke about last week, it's going to get a little press love, a little time in the spa, so to say.
Yeah.
A little rejuvenation, and we'll see where it ends up. Don't know if that's going to get graded yet or not. We'll figure it out.
I mean, what goes to get graded?
Not much, but
right.
But if I'm talking about a possibility of grading it, then because I don't. My CGC membership has gone unused 2 years in a row. Yeah. I paid for it and it went unused.
Well, we did look this one up, and there's evidence of a 9.8 selling recently a couple of times in the $1,200 to $1,300 range, whereas the book without that maybe is $200.
Yeah, 150, 200, somewhere around there.
So there is a significant difference.
Yeah.
For that submission that maybe makes it worth it.
Yeah. Well, so then we were talking about how 3 of them came in the game, or you could mail away to get more copies or the other copies. Back in 2020, I discovered
the Leaf.
The 297.
The Leaf.
Uncanny X-Men 297. That was the one where the board game was released in the summertime. So it was not during holiday season, and they were not expecting quite the sales from that as you would get during a holiday season. So what they did was, we don't want to invest in putting this comic into everyone. They had to pay Marvel to put these in. So what they did was, that was the one time that you just got a coupon to mail away for this free comic. Just pay shipping and handling, and they would send it to you. And in 2020, early 2020, maybe late 2019, I was at a show, and I was digging through some dollar boxes or 2 for $1 boxes, raw books, no bags, no boards. I just saw the Uncanny 297, and I was like, well, I'll take that for 50 cents or $1 and see. It's really only a $1 to $2 book at best. But I took a chance on it. About a month later, I had that short box. I always would come home from shows, conventions, with a short box of everything I bought, or multiple boxes, whatever. But it was generally a short box, especially if it was a one-day show. And I'm flipping through it and seeing what I can prioritize. And I'm like, oh, on the second skim. I didn't notice it, I guess, in the heat of the moment at the convention while, you're looking and pulling. You're just, when it's cheap books, you're just kind of honey badgering it.
All of those Pressmans are an easy miss.
They always,
Easy miss.
For sure. So I got the book. I pressed it. Took it to 2 or 3 conventions. And then sent it into CGC. Like, it didn't sell. People were like, what is that? Why do you have that much on that book?
Because they didn't understand.
Yeah, and I constantly had to explain it and go through it. And even when I posted the book on our page, multiple people back then were like, oh, I just learned something new today. I didn't know this existed. And so I sent it into CGC, and it came back at 9.8. And we sold it for $1,200. And I was like, That's a pretty good ROI, return on investment. That was a good deal.
Well, I'm going to offer one more shout out to a guy named Roger Perez, who lives in Florida, who way back in the day on the old STL Comics forums was Metarog.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the one that drew my attention and everybody else to those books 20-something years ago when nobody was paying attention.
Sure.
And he said, hey, y'all, here's a thing. And that was before CGC knew what they were. That was before anybody knew what they were.
Okay. That's, good for him. I remember Metarog was always all over stuff that.
Well, I mean, he understood all the rare stuff and how to find it and how to be ahead of all the curves. And he's the one that instructed me to those books, and it's why I own all 4 Pressman books to this day.
So I don't know if you're aware of this little side note. Mm-hmm. It is believed that out in the wild, because there were less than 500 of that Uncanny 297
Belief,
they are more rare than an X-Men 1.
Oh, I would absolutely believe that.
Obviously not the Jim Lee, like the real,
1963 X-Men #1 are out there in probably greater numbers than most people would believe. In high grade, probably extremely rare.
Sure.
But in all grades,
they're out there.
Slabbed, raw, all the above. Yeah, no, when there's less than 500 known copies of a given book, and even that is an estimation.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. No, the amount of Incredible Hulk 181s making their way around the world right now, people absolutely don't understand that book isn't rare.
No.
It's just popular.
So, and this goes back many years ago, but somebody I know here in the area came to a local show when we used to have the Project Comic-Con shows.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a stack of books he was looking to trade or sell. I made an offer. It wasn't strong enough for him. We had our agreements sometimes and disagreements. I would buy regularly back then from him, but didn't always work out. And another dealer out of Chicago was there, and they had 6 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15 on the wall. And that was the first time I was like, you can't tell me that's that rare.
It's right.
The point of that was, he said, well, if I can't work out a trade with him to get one of these Amazing Fantasies, I will come back and talk to you. Well, it turns out he did make a deal and then sent the book to CGC.
Oh.
And it came back purple label.
That's what I was about to say. Restoration, almost assuredly, if it's not already been through the process.
And
there was a trim or a color touch.
Very reputable dealer, apparently either didn't inspect the book for anything.
Well, if you're not putting it underneath a black light, you can't see half of that stuff.
Again, I have a black light here. Like, if you're handling a book of that high a dollar.
Well, and you also have to measure it down to the fraction of an inch.
And that was the thing. The restoration list was like a mile long.
Oh,
like somebody invested a lot of money.
The overhang of inside versus outside, it should have a little curl.
Mm-hmm. So he wasn't too happy in the end, I guess, and actually told me, I wish I would have just took your cash. I mean, now though, that was well over a decade ago. Probably, if he held on to it, was probably an okay investment piece for what he traded for it.
Restoration on a book like that, to me, is not unacceptable. It just depends on what kind of restoration. Is it restoration
professionally was it done?
Is it in the best interest of the preservation of the book, or was it a scam of touching up stuff just to make it look better?
Years ago, I looked at the first appearance of Alan Scott. Green Lantern.
Golden Age.
Opened it up. This was also a local dealer that was selling his collection, and then ended up selling it to mutual friend that bought the store he used to own.
Ooh, I know all the names right here, but we're not going to say them out loud.
We're not going to air the dirty laundry and drag people.
But I know what you're talking about.
But a lot of those books ended up coming back restored. And he was not happy because none of that was disclosed. But I also looked at that collection at the same time and shopped it. You know,
but that stuff was all purchased by the owner of those books at a time when those kinds of restorations were not necessarily as detectable and almost commonplace. Color touch especially.
Yes. But one, let's remember the guy that bought them.
Yep.
And his grading practices. And I'm going to say this for anybody that might know who I am talking about. Very dear friend of mine. I have memorabilia that belonged in his personal collection hanging in this store.
There's a piece hanging right over there.
Very dear friend of mine that passed away at this point. He's, I think we're coming up on a decade now.
Oh my goodness.
9 years.
Yeah.
But he just graded very basically, you know, didn't really inspect anything. And when he bought it, I was like, you know, so that Alan Scott, I opened it when I looked at it. And I mean, just rice paper down the spine, blatant Band-Aid restoration, Band-Aids on the book. And I mean, color touch that bled through and showed on the, you know, on the cover. I think one book I even looked at, it bled through and bled onto the splash page. So, I mean, like, some of it was just amateurish. And I have my thoughts that it possibly could have been the seller that tried to do some of this himself over the years.
But again, we're talking about way back books that were collected by that original collector that this person bought them from.
That it could have been them.
But that some of that restoration could have happened in the 70s.
Oh, sure.
And even creeping into the 80s. And nobody really thought about that stuff that deep until early 2000s when CGC appeared and the purple label appeared and became the destructor of value.
Yeah. Well, and it's okay. I have my differences with said company at times, but was it a destructor or was it an insurance policy for some people? Because then you at least know. You got somebody that's calling that out for you.
When I say destructor, I'm just saying stuff that had been done long ago and people held on to books for a long time, not understanding how 15 or 20 years later that might be a detriment to the value of the things that they thought were an investment.
Sure.
It was a destruction of their retirement plan.
Do we know, has CGC changed their restoration removal process yet?
CGC has changed a lot of rules about a lot of stuff in all the years that CGC has been alive, but removal, I don't know.
Still just like, is it still just cut? Like, people are amazed when they learn about this.
Well, let's just say
when they remove it, they're cutting anything out affected.
There's certain purple labels that are older. And when I say older, we're talking about
25 years or so.
Possibly. Yeah. There's a purple label out there that you might be able to buy at this point. Crack that book out, send it to a modern conservationist that can remove a number of those things, maybe or maybe not all of them, or depending on what kind of restoration it was. And they also may be able to update that restoration with practices that are now acceptable.
Yeah, and that's the other problem is we don't know what's acceptable anymore. You kind of went off in the weeds there. That wasn't about CGC's removal, but then that leads to
when you say CGC removal, you mean them
removing their services.
Ooh,
it's just chop it out. That's what I'm saying. Cut it out. That X-Acto knife. You know, if this has color touch, we're taking it off.
No, that sounds like
you Google it.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. That just sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have they changed that or stopped off?
For an early 40s book, do we want to cut a hole in it?
No, but That's
because
it's out
somebody
there. That's the point.
somebody
They
colored
did
it with a crayon in 1972.
Yeah, but they did it.
That's
That's
yeah.
okay. So we'll move on past that
Before I have a stroke.
Yeah, and then
It,
so talking about their practices changing, I'm curious. I don't know if this is still a thing. You're in the Reddit boards. You're more places than I am. Reading this stuff. But about a year ago, a bunch of guys were online talking about how peroxide baths were starting to get flagged as restoration. They were coming back purple label or
I'm not sure that's across the board.
One or two guys even said green label. Now, yes, that makes me curious. Were these people guys pulling staples and essentially dismantling the book to give it a full peroxide bath?
Well, you'd almost have to.
Well,
if you're touching up a whole book, how do you not take the staples out? And then the question becomes, did you put the same staples back?
2 pieces of glass, mash in the book, you spray it, hang it over into a sink. There's whole YouTube videos on how to do it.
Sure.
But the other one is let's bend the staples, pull them out, and then you don't get the exact bend from that time frame when you may use the same staples.
But we're also talking about a fallible device from many, many years ago that did not bend the staples correctly all the time.
Or missed pages, missed a whole staple in a book. All of this happened.
Sure.
So yes, that's kind of 6 in one hand. As long as you can tell the difference between a modern staple and a replacement
Sure,
staple.
but Silver Age alone, how many books have we come across in the last 2 years that were missing a complete staple?
Or just flawed staples. We've even had books that the cover was stapled in a different place because the cover didn't go through in the printing press or whatever, and they stapled the whole book. We've seen some crazy stuff over the last couple of years. So,
the 60s and the 70s were a hell of a thing, and they didn't expect people to be nerding on this to the level that they do these days.
Our entire industry there was no thought of collectability or investment.
No,
in everything that we do.
They were ephemera.
Yeah, there was throwaways.
They were newspapers. They were magazines.
Right. All right. So let's get back to what else we had. We kind of went
our stuff over here.
Yeah, our other stuff.
Because we got some cool stuff.
So another thing that we got was this
Dagobah
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Dagobah action playset in box. Typical yellowed box for the time. If you see these bright white, bring them here. I'll buy them all day long.
Sure. And JCPenney, to their credit, put that warehouse placement label right over the middle of the most beautiful art.
They apparently weren't as smart as Sears in the later years when they were doing their exclusives and stuff. So this was near complete.
We're missing one floating chest, the Yoda Force little chest. There's 2 of them that you can push down on a lever, and they both float. There's only one in there, and we're also missing the original instructions for the playset. But
that had some foam in it, right?
The piece of foam still exists within. I would not want to touch it. I don't want to think about touching it. I don't want to think about anybody else touching it, because one touch, it might just
disintegrate,
implode.
Yeah, for sure.
It's it's 40-something-year-old foam, and we've come across this in other play sets. We've had the Dagobah before without a box and incomplete, and
with foam.
And we had a foam once, and again, don't look at it, don't touch it.
Right. Don't even think about it.
Don't think about looking at it. Don't think about touching it. It's
gonna fall apart.
It looks pretty.
It'll crush. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
So the other thing we got was this Shadow the Hedgehog PlayStation 2. It's the greatest hits, but it's sealed.
Yeah, my son, I sent him a picture of this one. I only send him so many pictures from the shop of things that I know he will love. This one was Cupid's arrow right through his heart. it's
Well, we have an open version of it.
Yeah, but it is the GameCube version, not the PS2 version, and it is open, it is complete, and it has some significant value, but sealed is always going to absolutely trump that.
I don't think your kid wants to play the game though, right? I would assume.
No, he wants to put it on a shelf and admire it. I mean, that's.
I wonder where they got that from.
Well, that is a trophy.
It is. It's a nice shelf piece.
And whoever ends up taking this home from here, I would assume they're going to do one of two things. One, they're going to put it on the shelf as a trophy. Two, they're going to send it in to get graded because it's still sealed. And then when they get it back, they're going to do one of two things. One, they're going to sell it because the value, because whatever grade they got is significantly more. Or two, they're going to put it on the shelf and it will be a trophy.
Yeah. All right. So what else have we been up to? We've talked about purging new cases. We are right behind us. I don't know how well it is in the frame, but there is a wall of Power of the Force loose Star Wars figures that we've bagged up and priced. Mm-hmm. And now generally they move a little
slowly
bit, but I think we're done. We're not buying any more. We still have tubs of these.
Well, it's too easy to get carded.
Yeah,
Power of the Force
for cheap,
and they're $3 and $4 a piece.
Right.
Other than Slave Leia and Boba Fett,
right,
and maybe the 2 Jawa package.
Well, and then for a while we saw a boost in anything that had to do with the Cantina because of the HasLab thing that was coming out.
But I think there was not too much of those guys. It's after Power of the Force where they came with their cocktail.
Yeah. So we're done with those. Moving on. I guess.
What else we have to talk about is dope stuff at great prices.
Yeah.
Might come back 1 star.
1 star.
And this is where right here we got to put up the meme that one of our
Chat GPT meme he created for us.
One of our customers posted a picture that really summed it all up, but I mean, ultimately, it's absolute ridiculousness that.
So, I'm going to clarify at this point.
Go right for it.
People that don't follow us on social media may just be finding us for the first time.
Sure.
Or 5 weeks into our videos and still don't know us.
Right.
We got a 1-star Google review from a guy the other day, and he was like, those guys are rude and stuck up and need a serious attitude adjustment. I won't be back. Well, maybe I will, because they do have dope stuff at great prices. LOL.
And then 1 star.
1 star. Left us a 1 star. First, I'm going to say, pretty certain he didn't buy anything. I will clarify, when I first thought I knew who this was from that review, I said, you didn't have any interaction. And then, sometimes it's a little tricky figuring out who somebody is on Google. Because I'm going to talk about this, figuring out, I only mean figuring out the customer and the interaction, what took place.
We say hi to everybody.
And that's it. We will greet everybody. We'll ask, in a lot of cases, we'll ask, are you looking for anything in particular?
Well,
and you can tell in a lot of cases, some people don't want any help. We even have a lot of guys that on occasion will give us dirty looks for saying hi when they walk in.
Let me offer up 2 things here. Number 1, if I say anything I can help you find today, it's the same thing as me saying, I don't know you.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen you before.
Right.
Let me learn who you are.
Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Let me help. And if you don't want help, that's fine.
That's great.
Go
But number two, if it's one of our regulars, we're like, what's
What's
up?
up? Right.
And then we let them go
right.
because they know what they're doing.
Or I razz them the whole time they're in the
well,
store.
I mean, no, there's some of those guys too.
Right.
And Craig. I see you, Craig.
And your buddy Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah. But, so you have that. And then you have some people that are almost like, offended that you even said hi. And they're like, I'm just looking.
Well, and it's because they've walked into so many big box stores where somebody's working on commission.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. We're not working on commission. We actually want to help you.
Well, and that's what I don't get. You're coming into a comic store. I mean, I have been in so many comic shops, and 90% of the time, nobody says a word to me when I walk in.
No,
at least we greet you.
You're lucky if the fat guy behind the counter goes and grunts at you.
I mean, that's about all you do.
Well.
But no, I mean, seriously, I have literally left stores because I felt they don't even care that I'm here. At least we're saying hi. And it's a 50-50 shot. Even if you don't buy anything, as you're walking out the door, we're like, thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good one.
And you know what? I'm not trying to fluff us up, but we're busy.
We are busy. And
to keep this place running at its capacity, if we're not churning all the time, we get behind.
Yeah.
So we're always working on something. It doesn't mean we're not willing to get up and absolutely help you find whatever it is you're looking for. And that being said, we post a lot of pictures. So when people show up, we almost expect that they saw something.
Well, a lot of our regulars, when they walk in the door, we're like, hey, what are you chasing? What'd you see? And we'll help you out.
Well, and the thing is, I put it on the shelf. I probably know where it's at.
Yeah, right.
I can lead you right to it.
I mean, maybe let them wander and find some other stuff.
Well, no. I'm going to sell them that one thing first and then set them loose, right?
Right.
It's like a cow. You got to give them their salt lick, but then they can wander the whole pasture eating grass.
I do not stand behind the statement of calling customers cows for salt lick, but no.
It's true, though.
So I was talking about that. I thought I knew who this was. And then I thought again later that I thought it was somebody else, because we did have a guy that come in here, and I might have gotten a little short with him a time or two right at the end. It was because when he walked in, he said, we greet him, and how you doing? I'm just killing time. Well, right away, we're done. If you're just killing time, because, I mean, people come in here from all over the plaza and do that stuff. If you're killing time, we're done, right? We got other stuff to do. Not to mention, if you're just killing time, if somebody is in the store, you very well could be pulling us away from something that we're trying to work on or accomplish that we can't do while you're wandering in the store, because we have to keep an eye on things. And then that gentleman proceeded to walk around the store, touch things, play with loose vintage toys that we have clear signage that says, please do not play with the toys.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept doing it. And then he goes to our bathroom. And for anybody that has been in here, that, our store is like a large living room. It's fun, it's open, it's great. And the bathroom is right next to the counter.
Yeah.
And I get that nature calls.
Yeah, but it was dead stank.
It was peeling paint off the walls, and the dude, people do this all the time. I don't understand this. You're in a public place. You walk out, you leave the light on, leave the fan off, and the door wide open for it just to waft in and give me pink eye.
Sopranos. Kaboots.
Yeah, kaboots. So, and then as he was leaving, he basically said he was interested in something, but had to get permission. I'm not going to go down that road, but
It was the Enterprise loose over there for a handful of dollars.
Just said I wasn't going to go down that road, but
I'm going to go there.
He had to ask the wife for permission, and look, I'm not going to speak to anybody's relationship or none of that, and I'm going to prevent you from doing it as well. We can have private conversations, but if $15 to $25 needs permission, maybe you shouldn't be here. And again, we appreciate it if you come back and buy it, or you buy $5, but that was that individual that specifically told us you were killing time, and then you say that on the way out. That felt like you were trying to fluff me a little bit to make me feel good about all the time you spent in here for nothing. Fluff. And so anyway, so we get the 1-star review, and I post to our Facebook page, and oh my gosh, like the overwhelming positive response from people.
Huge interaction versus every post we've made for months.
Well, if it's a sales post, people that doom scroll and go by. Yeah. And there are way more people that come in here searching for something than we posted than interacted with our posts themselves. But just the response was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much,
everybody. Thank you. We have barely in 4 years told anyone don't come back. There's one person in particular I can think of, and I was the one.
You have one, I have 3.
Yeah, well, okay.
I have 3, and the first one was a long-time customer, a relatively long time.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, I was in on that one too.
Decided he wanted to cuss out our former employee that's no longer with us, but wanted to cuss him out at the time over it.
Yeah.
And we'll,
nope. My guy's over yours, son.
I don't know, man.
Well, no, we're protecting our boys.
Oh, my
guys over yours.
I mean, he was a needy guy, and some guys are, and we generally just deal with it. But at that point, he got me to boil over, and it was all over an item that I told him I wasn't interested in. You told him twice. And then I got involved and told him 3 times, and he still brought it to the store and lumped it in with the deal. And then it sat in our back room for a year. And then he got pissed because I put it out for $125. And he was like, wow, you only gave me $5 for it. And I said, I didn't give you anything. I told you I didn't want it. And you said you were going to include it. And he got mad. And when we posted it, he called up to the store, and he was cussing out Bruno on the phone, who answered it. And Bruno's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then when I got on the phone with him, he's like, you're the business owner. You should be making this right. And I said, I am going to make it right. Don't
come back. You can't talk to Bruno like that. Yeah. Bruno's our boy. We protect our boys over you, son.
Well, and it wasn't even protecting over him. That was unnecessary. You're talking to an employee who he had been shopping with us long enough to know that if anybody priced it, it was me or you that made that post.
It didn't have anything to do with Bruno.
Nothing.
And I mean, not just unnecessary, but just no.
Yeah. And just, yes. So we had him, and then, we've had a couple others. And then a couple of weeks ago, I think we've touched on, care of product. We had somebody in here in the morning, like a Wednesday morning, that really caught me at a bad time because we were.
Oh, that was the 50-cent books.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. You and I both went after him.
He got it from both ends because he just had books all over the place. I still have this picture, so I'm going to try to put it on the screen of those books.
This is before we moved all the 50-cent books out front. They were still in the Star Wars room.
And he just made a mess. And
it wasn't just a mess.
It was a disaster.
It was the worst I'd ever seen anybody treat our comics ever, especially 50-cent raw books.
And I told James, I'm going to ring this guy out. Because I went, and James was ringing somebody out. I walked into that room and was like, what the? And I said, I'm going to take care of this guy. And he goes, what's wrong? And I said, go look at them 50 centers. So I started ringing the guy out. And I said, look, if you're going to treat my product this way, I'm going to ask you not to come back. And he was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And then James, you heard James from the back room go, oh, no.
And then he came back in there. And that's when I started letting him have it.
Well, you were like, you wouldn't do this to your comics at home. And then, in full transparency, my blood pressure spiked through the roof.
Mine too.
And I was trembling. And you could tell it made him uncomfortable. And I do apologize for like showing that kind of emotion. But
he deserved it.
What I told him was, if this is how you're going to treat my merchandise, I will ask you not to come back. He never apologized. He never owned up to it. He acted like he didn't know what we were talking about. Went in there and looked at it, came out here, paid for his books,
and left.
And he's never been back. And that was the thing. All you got to do is be like, I'm sorry. We have had some people like that where we've pointed out, hey, man, you got to take care of this stuff. Like, have a little respect. It's not yours yet. I own this. I got to get the money out of it. And if you damage it, that might not happen.
Hey, buy it. Take it out in the parking lot, set it on fire, run it over with your truck.
Wipe your butt with it. I don't care once I got the money. But while it's in here, in my care, in my possession,
we're treating it very well. We've got kid gloves on the inside.
Yeah.
We take great care to present this merchandise in its best possible form because we want it to be saleable.
Yeah. Saleable? Sellable? Is that like worse and worst?
Something like that.
So I mean, we haven't done that much. We haven't really, had to tell. There's been some oddballs that aren't customers that we've had to tell don't come back. Like I had to tell a guy a couple of weeks ago, don't come back in here. And he said, well, why? I said, because you just come in and use our bathroom. We're not a gas station.
Boy.
Yeah. So that was something.
That was another doo-doo story.
Yeah, he'd done that. And again, it's like, if you had a dinner party at your house and your bathroom was connected to your kitchen, would you go take a nasty grumper and then open the door and just walk out and be like, hey, how's everybody doing? Well, we have some collectors that come in here and don't care about condition, or only, they're going to break that toy out of the package, or they're doing customs. And the problem is the way that they manhandle things, not thinking about the other collector that keeps everything in package or cares about the condition of the comic book. And I mean, obviously, we price everything based on condition. So when you're manhandling it and damaging it, like the kid last week with all the Simpsons figures that his mom wanted to take a picture of, and he bear hugs them, and we can just start hearing them go, and we're like, hey, maybe not do that until you buy them.
Well, and even after I said something, they still proceeded to hug and take a picture. Because Dad's going to want to see this.
Well, Dad can see it when you get it home.
Yep.
All right. So then, what do we got coming up? I don't know. We're
coming up.
Shoot. I don't know. Lots of buys. We talked about that already. I am reaching out to somebody to see if we can go off-site and go visit somebody and do something in another location.
That will be a whole lot of fun if that works out.
Yep.
And
I think we'd have a good time.
Other things that are coming up is way more statues, possibly, than we know what to do with. Where we can put them. It may be a limited amount available at a time, and they have to sell so that we can.
And I also don't want to count those eggs until they're hatched. I can't believe we've talked about it as much as we have tonight, but we'll see where that goes. And then we're just going to keep doing what we do. And
that's all we can do. It's a hustle every day, son.
So I'm going to go home and go to bed and come back and see you guys next week.
Cheers.
See ya. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Appreciate y'all.